Welcome, my friend. Before this video truly begins, I want you to stop for just one moment and ask yourself a very honest question. How many times have you studied for hours, felt confident, felt ready, and then when the exam started or when someone asked you a simple question, your mind suddenly went empty? That strange silence appeared, your heart beat faster, and you realized that everything you studied was gone. If this has ever happened to you, stay with me till the very end, because today we are not talking about studying harder or learning faster. We are talking about something much more important than that. We are talking about how to remember what you study, because studying without remembering is just wasting time. Welcome to English Storytelling. Channel is about learning English. This channel is about learning English, training your brain, and changing the way you learn forever. So before we go deeper, make sure you subscribe, like this video, and write a comment below, because this is not just for the algorithm. It is a commitment to yourself that this time you will learn the right way. Most people believe memory is something you are born with. They think some people are lucky and others are not. But that belief is completely wrong, and it destroys confidence. Slowly, the truth is, your brain is not weak. It was just never trained properly. Every single day, your brain receives sounds, words, images, feelings, but it keeps only what feels important, meaningful, or emotional. If you study without attention, your brain deletes it. If you study without meaning, your brain ignores it. And if you study without emotion, brain forgets it. That is why reading the same page again and again does not work. That is why highlighting everything does not work. And that is why studying all night and forgetting everything in the morning feels so painful. The brain remembers what it uses, not what it sees, and this is where everything changes. From today, you must stop studying like a student and start studying like a teacher. When you read something, do not ask yourself, can I memorize this? Ask yourself, can I explain this? Close the book and speak out loud. Explain it to the wall, to the mirror, to an imaginary person sitting in front of you. Because when you speak, your brain organizes information. When you speak, memory becomes deeper. And when you speak, fear slowly disappears. This is why people who talk about what they learn remember more. And silence is one of the biggest enemies of memory. But understanding alone is not enough. You must feel something. Think about your life. You do not remember pages from books, but you remember moments, emotions, and experiences. So stop learning English as a school subject and start learning it as a tool for your future. English is not grammar. English is confidence. English is communication. English is the voice you will use when life asks you who you are. When your brain understands why something matters, it refuses to forget it. Here is another truth that most people avoid: studying longer does not mean studying better. 6 hours of unfocused study is weaker than 1 hour of deep, learning. Only a small part of what you study truly matters. Find it, focus on it, master it. Your brain loves clarity, not chaos, and when you finish studying something, not rush to learn more. Stop, rest. Because memory is not built while you study, memory is built in silence, in pauses, and during sleep. That is when your brain saves your effort and turns weak information into strong memory. And one last powerful habit that can change everything. Say what? You learn, read out loud, explain. Out loud, use your voice. When your mouth trains your brain, your knowledge becomes stable and reliable. That is how people remember clearly. That is how confidence is built, and that is how learning becomes permanent. And now that you understand this, something very important will slowly start to change inside you. Because the moment you stop blaming yourself, your brain finally becomes free to learn. Most people waste years believing they are slow, weak, or bad students, but the truth is simple. They were never taught how to work with their brain, only how to fight against it, and the brain always wins that fight. Think about this for a moment. When you were a child, you learned how to speak your language without books, without grammar rules, without exams. You learned by listening, repeating, feeling, and using the language. Every single day you made mistakes. You forgot words. You tried again. And slowly, naturally, language became part of you. That is how the brain truly learns, not through pressure, but through connection. This is why forcing yourself to memorize never works long term, because pressure creates fear, and fear blocks memory. Your brain does not store information when it feels threatened. It stores information when it feels safe, curious, and interested. So if studying always feels stressful to you, that stress itself is one of the reasons you forget, not because you are weak, but because your brain is protecting itself from today. Your goal is not to finish more pages. Your goal is to build a relationship with what you learn. When you open a book, especially when you study English, imagine that the book is not testing you. It is talking to you. It is offering you something that can help your life, your confidence, your future conversations, your future opportunities. And when you change this mindset, learning slowly becomes lighter. Now, let me tell you something very few people understand. Forgetting is not failure. Forgetting is feedback. Every time you forget something, your brain is telling you exactly where your weakness is, and that is a gift. Because most people keep reading what they already know and avoid what they don't. But growth happens exactly in the uncomfortable parts, the words you forget, the ideas you struggle to explain, the moments you feel confused. Those moments are doors, not walls. When you forget, don't get angry. Smile, because now you know where to focus. Go back, explain it again, say it out loud again. Connect it to something emotional again, and your brain will respect that effort. Memory is built through repetition, with meaning, not repetition with fear. And this is especially important when learning English, because English is not just knowledge, It is expression. Many people understand English when they read or listen, but when they try to speak, everything disappears. Everything disappears, not because they don't know English, but because they train their eyes and ears, not their mouth. Language lives in movement, in sound, in action. So if you want English to stay in your memory, it must pass through your voice. Speak slowly. Speak imperfectly. Speak without fear. Your brain does not care about perfection. It cares about usage. Every sentence you speak builds a stronger path, and every silent hour weakens it. This is why children learn faster than adults, not because they are smarter, but because they are not afraid to sound wrong. Now imagine something with me. Imagine two futures. In the first future, you keep studying the same way you always have. Reading silently, stressing, forgetting, repeating, feeling tired, feeling disappointed, and slowly losing confidence. Years pass. And you still say, I studied this before. I don't know why I forgot. Now imagine the second future. You study less, but deeper. You speak what you learn. You connect it to your life. You rest properly. You review smartly. And slowly something beautiful happens. You start remembering without effort. You start explaining clearly. You start trusting your mind again. Confidence does not come from knowing everything. Confidence comes from knowing that even if you forget, you know how to recover, how to rebuild, how to remember. Again, that is real intelligence. Let me be very honest with you. Motivation will not save you. Discipline alone will not save you. Only understanding will. Once you understand how your brain works, learning stops being a battle and becomes a process. And processes are repeatable, reliable, and calm. This is why routines matter. Not long routines, simple ones. Studying at the same time every day, even for a short period, tells your brain this matters. Resting after studying tells your brain save this. Sleeping well tells your brain protect this. And over time, memory becomes automatic. And if right now you feel behind, if you feel like you wasted years, let that thought go. The brain does not care about your past. It only responds to what you do. Consistently now, memory can be trained at any age. Focus can be rebuilt at any stage, and confidence can return even after years of doubt. If you're still listening, it means something inside you is awake, and I want you to hold on to that, because most people never question how they learn. They just suffer silently, but you chose to stay, to listen, to understand, and that already puts you ahead. So as you continue your journey, especially with English, remember this: don't chase fluency, chase clarity, don't chase speed. Chase depth, don't chase perfection, chase progress. One clear sentence remembered is more powerful than 10 forgotten pages. And whenever you feel tired, return to this simple truth. Your brain is not your enemy, it is your partner. If this voice, these ideas, and this way of learning resonate with you, stay connected with English, storytelling, subscribe, like, and share your thoughts in the comments, because learning is not meant to be lonely, and growth becomes stronger when it is shared.